I had a lot of fun. I was with your wife, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been many men with my wife.
Yeah, so let me change that. As soon as I said it, I went, that's how you get killed in the state of Texas.
This is Big Dink Energy, the pickleball podcast that's half insight, half nonsense, and all entertainment. If you love pickleball, don't take yourself too seriously and think a little trash talk makes the game better, welcome home. This is the place where life and pickleball intersect. We celebrate the chaos, call out the nonsense, and put the fun back in dysfunction. You're either in or you're out. And if you're still listening, you're in. So let's go. Big Dink Energy starts now. The official podcast of Pickleball. Sit down, shut up, and hold on. Let's go.
Episode 22.
Episode 2 of the 22. I love it. I love it. This episode is brought to us by the Pretty Pickleball Company, where elegance meets competition, and every woman gets to embrace her inner pickleball princess. These paddles are more than just pretty. They're built to perform, crafted from premium Toray T700 carbon fiber with a honeycomb propylene core and 14 millimeters of thickness. That's okay. For the perfect balance of power and control. Each one features fairy tale inspired designs and comes in luxury storybook packaging, so your gear feels just as good as your game. Ready to stand out on the court? Head to theprettypickleballcompany.com. Use code BigDinkEnergy15 for 15% off your first order. Play pretty, rule the court. So in our kitchen talk segment here, what I wanted to talk about, what's your guilty or weird food you ate as a child or maybe even currently as an adult? And for the ladies in the room and on the listening airwaves, if this was something pregnancy related, that's all right as well. But what was the guilty or weird food you ate as a kid? Or maybe the food you ate that people would think was weird?
Okay. Are you asking me first?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Well, I don't know that mine is weird. I thought it was normal, but now that I look back, I think we were just poor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have a couple that we used to do.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Right. I think we have a couple that we used to do, and it's like, I thought I was at high tea, but apparently, again, we just didn't have a whole lot of money.
Yes.
So like cinnamon toast, not cinnamon rolls, folks.
Toast with like cinnamon and sugar on it.
Yeah.
Yep. I ate that too.
Excuse me. If we start talking about toast, Paddle Princess is
oh my gosh, no kidding.
in.
It's like the last time I had toast was in, but it was like my mom tried to make it like cinnamon rolls, I think. Graham crackers and milk.
Wait. Can we? So she took the white bread and tried to make cinnamon rolls out of it.
Well, no, she wasn't like that fancy, but I think she tried to play it off like, here's something sweet. When it's like, well, damn, I wanted a Cinnabon.
Yeah, we used to do that too. I would mix like in a bowl the cinnamon and sugar.
You got Cinnafun.
And then just sprinkle it all over your toast. It was delicious.
But I mean, so graham crackers and milk. So instead of cookies, because they were a lot cheaper.
No,
I guess.
You cannot put graham crackers in milk. They
you dip it in there
right away.
Like I don't think we had Oreos ever growing up.
Hydrox?
That doesn't even exist. And then like butter on saltines.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. No, that's not weird.
Just like rice and butter. Like it's all just starch with butter.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Do you guys have any starch?
Because it just like filled you up and kind of shut you up.
Can I get this potato with rice on it?
I still eat rice with butter and salt and pepper.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah,
but
noodles too.
I wonder if like not poor people.
The unpours?
The unpours.
Yes.
I wonder if the unpours ever had that. But I mean, I passed it down to my kids. Like my kids toast and cinnamon and sugar and butter on saltines. Like, you want a snack? Go have some.
Let me show you something.
Go have some graham crackers.
This is what I had.
So how about you, Paddle Princess?
What about you, PP?
So one of the things that we still eat to this day, my dad's father kind of invented it, I guess.
Would that be your grandfather?
Yes.
Okay.
But I only...
That's how that works.
I mean, I only knew him for a couple months of my life. He made this dish that as a family, we call it goop. And basically what it is, it's ground up, ground beef. It's just fried up in the pan. And then you saute zucchini, squash that's cut up. And you kind of let it simmer. And then you add in cans of ranch-style beans.
Hmm.
And
what are ranch-style beans?
They're like...
You would eat them on a ranch.
Pinto.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know what bean it is, but it's in a black can, and you just dump it all in, the sauce and everything. And I like the ones with the jalapenos in it, but my family doesn't, so I don't make them eat that. And then you just put the lid on it and let it simmer for hours. And then you come back and you just get yourself a tortilla, put it in there, put some mayonnaise on top of it, roll it up, and eat it like a burrito.
Up until the mayonnaise, it sounded like chili.
Mayonnaise.
It sounded like chili up until the mayonnaise.
Yeah.
No, it's
Wait, mayonnaise on a tortilla?
Yeah, you just put it on top with some ranch dressing on it.
Oh God,
Just
mayonnaise and
salad
beans.
spread or something.
It's really good, and it's a lot like I understand it
mad at
sounds
it.
like chili, but it's a lot thicker.
No, chili doesn't have beans.
Chili doesn't have mayonnaise.
Well,
It's delicious.
that's why it's not chili.
But I guess one of the weird things that I ate, not growing up, but when I was pregnant, I would eat toast
Of course.
with peanut butter on it, jalapenos, and Tabasco sauce. And I ate that multiple times a day.
All of that's nasty.
Yeah. For any toast companies out there, you want to sponsor us?
Oh my God, the toast
We have
in this.
toast on every episode, pretty much.
Sorry, I didn't realize I ate toast that much.
I guess not. Okay, so this came up for me because we had pancakes, and I remember back to a time as a youngster, and I got this from my grandfather, of all people, was ketchup on pancakes.
Yeah, that is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Absolutely not.
Now, we would put sugar on our pancakes instead of syrup, and I still do that to this day.
I put honey, like if we ran out of syrup.
Pancakes, buttermilk pancakes, butter, and then ketchup.
Why?
That's horrible.
It's good.
Why?
It's so good.
I'm not even a fan of ketchup, though.
I'm not a big fan of ketchup.
So good.
Like, I like ketchup mixed with mayonnaise, but not, especially not on pancakes.
Yeah.
What did you?
What is the reasoning? Like, I know, like people say,
Savory.
like chicken and waffles.
Yeah. It's a sweet and savory.
I've never had chicken and waffles either.
It's sweet
delicious.
and savory.
I don't know.
Well, so being that we're all talking about pours, us, did you all ever have to put water in your ketchup bottles to make it last longer?
I don't know that I did that.
Yeah, we did
No.
that. Yeah. But you had to know, like the ketchup bottle had to be marked, and 10 times out of 10, it was not marked. So you would squeeze it and you would get way more than you wanted, and it's all watery.
Liquidy.
Yeah. But so another thing
You were more poorer than I was.
I was, yes, poor. But I didn't know it, you know? It was,
Right.
I think my poor was just middle class in California.
Yeah. You guys, you were not poor. You didn't have ketchup on pancakes. How about mayo and hot sauce on just bread?
I don't like hot sauce anyway.
Yeah.
But your son made a mayonnaise sandwich the other day, and I have lunch meat.
Nothing wrong with a mayonnaise sandwich, especially
I'm like I have
some good
lunch meat
sourdough.
and cheese and all the accoutrements or whatever those things are called.
Accessories.
All the accessories, and you're
All
just
the
going to put
sandwich
mayonnaise?
accessories.
Well, my dad used to do this, and I think it stemmed from being in the Army, and he'd go out to the field, and he passed on his horrible allergies and congestion to me, but he would do just a piece of bread, mayonnaise, and jalapenos. And he would eat as many jalapenos as he could to just clear his nasal congestion. And he still does it to this day whenever he gets congested.
Y'all people.
What about chocolate syrup and Pepsi?
My dad?
What?
My dad did that with cherry Coke and chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
He did that growing up my whole life.
What about milk and Pepsi?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, did that too.
What about peanuts and Coke?
Yeah, I've seen that. I did
Does that taste
try
like
it.
boiled
I did
peanuts?
try, no, it's a little salty sweetie.
I don't. You and a salty sweet, like I don't.
That's
I don't
you.
like
That's,
that.
You remember
that's what I call.
the
That's your
Fireball
stage name, salty
candies?
sweetie.
Do you remember the Fireball candies?
Yes.
Yeah.
We used to take those and put them in Sprite bottles and then let all of like the coating come off of it and make
Did
your
y'all
Sprite
just not have
spicy.
shit to do?
I mean, we had a lot to do.
But I mean, you're a kid. You try things.
Yeah. Not I.
Ketchup on eggs.
Yes.
No, that's your son does that still to this
That's
day too.
yeah,
I
that's
prefer
disgusting.
salsa. Well, I don't really
I
like
don't
eggs.
know if it was
Salsa
just
on eggs is fine. So
Yeah.
why not ketchup?
why not ketchup?
I don't
See?
know.
There you go.
I
need
know
a
a
little
lot of people
pico.
who do it, but I don't
Maybe-
even like eggs. So
Maybe it was like because I know we didn't have name brand ketchup for sure. But I think I use a lot of things as a vehicle to get ketchup in my body.
I see that. But you don't eat a lot of ketchup now.
No, not a lot now. Just on my pizza and on my cereal. No,
ew.
just joking. And one last one I had that really stuck out to me: Oreos in cold water.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard of that.
You like that now too.
Oh my gosh, so it's like a menthol cookie. It's like a menthol cookie.
I'd rather have milk.
And so
yeah.
then you're like, why not just buy Thin Mints? No.
And I'm like, why not just use graham crackers?
Yeah, exactly.
Save some money and use some graham crackers.
So tell us what you think. What's your weird food? What the thing you maybe ate as a kid or you're still eating now? Show us a picture. Send us all the things on all the socials. Let us know over on bdepodcast.com and the Instagram. Big Dink Energy Podcast on Instagram. We do have a fan mail shout out. We actually have a couple shout outs. Ashley Stilson said, I recently started to play pickleball and found your guys' podcast and had to just tell you that I love it. Well, Ashley, we love you too.
Thank you.
So hit
That's
us up
awesome.
and keep commenting out there. Also, I saw Harmony. Harmony listens to us in her car. I'm just going to imagine, Harmony, though, that you're listening in the car while you may be eating some cookie dough. There's a story there. I'm not 100% sure, Harmony, but shout out to you for listening to us in the car as well.
We love you, Harmony.
Yeah.
Woo woo.
Just the tip. Quick pickleball wisdom in and out before you know it. And Just the Tip is brought to you by That Pickleball Swag. From Rec Play to Gift Day, they've got goods to keep your pickleball style strong. Use code BigDinkEnergy15 at thatpickleballswag.com to save 15% and upgrade your court presence from ugh to legendary.
Oof, ick.
Awesome.
So this tip called stacking, this is a clever and somewhat quirky strategy used in doubles pickleball to maximize a team's strengths and create confusion for opponents. It's especially popular among advanced players, but even beginners can try it out for fun. And I saw this first time when we went to the MLP tournament. In traditional doubles play, each player stays on their designated side, left or right of the court, based on the score and serving order. Stacking now allows both teammates to start on the same side of the court before the serve or return rather than spreading out. After the serve or return, players quickly move to their preferred position. So don't think you just have to be stagnant and stay there on your side. You can be anywhere you want on that court.
Just the tip. It's time for Pickle Pals.
We're talking today with Brian Bradley, global posture expert. Tony Robbins is personal body guru and vice president of all things Egoscue. Yeah, I said Egoscue. You're going to learn what that is today if you don't know what that is, especially for you people in the back slouching. Sit up tall right now. He's been helping pro athletes, Navy SEALs, and even pickleball players stand tall, move better, and ditch their pain without popping pills or getting all carved up on the operating table. Brian's going to bring the heat, and we're going to give you all the things you need to know to be better in life. So if you're playing 5 hours of pickleball but can't touch your toes, yeah, this episode's for you. So let's get into it with the man who's been realigning spines and lives for over 25 years, Brian Bradley. Welcome to Big Dink Energy.
Listen, I really appreciate the opportunity here. I had a lot of fun. I was with your wife, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been many men with my wife.
Yeah, so let me change that. As soon as I said it, I went, that's how you get killed in the state of Texas.
No, you guys were going for your duper scores or something like that, right?
Yeah, I got I was in one a week before that, and then somehow, everybody has a duper and doesn't have a duper, and I'm like, look, I don't play in enough tournaments to do this, but I play in enough 4-5, 5-0 plus chronic groups out here in San Diego, Southern California. A couple pro players up in Newport Beach, things like that. Went down to Florida, played with the Boca Surge, and they were like, look, these are 3 things I would work on before you come back for next year. And so I said, you know what, I got to get a duper rating. Flew to Texas and said, well, I'm down here for this Dave Asprey event speaking on biohacking, how to give the unfair advantage back to the human body. I might as well go and have these 2 guys do it. So one was a guy that just turned pro, and the other guy was the seasoned guy there. And so they gave me a realistic rating, which I really liked. I just happened to be there with your wife and her friend, and somebody's daughter was there. And, it was kind of fun because I went into a little bit of teaching mode and kind of calmed them down mentally, like, just relax. Because your wife at certain points was like, look, we're not that good. We're not that good. I said, I hear another, we're not that good. I'm not that good. I'm sorry. Why are you even doing this?
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for speaking that into her.
Yeah, because listen, quit apologizing. It's mindset. Yeah. What you focus on expands. I went there and said, in my mind, you're lucky to have me.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so much of life is spent that way in apology mode or unoffending mode. And, in some of the job, the job that I do, obviously I show up and I'm a big presence in a lot of people's lives on the police side. So I can't show up and say, oh, I'm sorry for being here. No, I got to show up with the S on my chest and say, hey, I'm here to solve your problem and get everything solved right now. Let's go.
And that's honestly what I do with chronic pain stuff. And we'll get into that. I just shot with Jordan Bryan Films. He's doing a comedy on pickleball, which is coming out August 8th for, a pickleball comedy, thing that he's doing with a bunch of people. And he had me in there as the referee. Nice. I wear a rainbow umbrella hat.
I saw that in your Insta.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of funny because it gets people to go, are you going to wear that hat when we play? And I said, yeah. He's like, well, it's kind of distracting. And I said, well, the hat's the least of your worries. The bigger worry is how you're going to explain to your friends you lost to an almost 60-year-old guy who wears a rainbow umbrella hat. And then I put a beat on him because mentally I've already got them just with the hat. I know the rest of the stuff's easy.
That's it. That's why they tell you, if someone had a bad point on the other side of the net and it's your turn to serve right to that person, because they're already in their head about that bad energy they just did, the bad play they had. So you're sending it right to them. They're only thinking, I'm going to screw up, right? So yeah, I like the psychological side of things like that.
Yeah, you have to. And it's in pickleball, there's two things I think in the long run that are going to be amazing for that. One of them is give me a chance to put your body back in this alignment so that I don't care what paddle you're using,
right.
You're driving, dinking with your body. So that was my job this weekend. Filming that was how to play pain-free pickleball while Primetime Pickleball taught how to play efficient pickleball. I'm giving her the body that she can instruct. And then I'm saying, get on the power plate for 10 minutes, bend your knees, allow your Achilles to load up with all that stress, which now puts it in a position where it can handle the conditioning that pickleball, is so used to hurting people right now doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And my job is to get people to realize pickleball never hurt anybody. It's the body you took to it.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's such a great call out right there. Because people show up from all walks of life, and they show up, they're coming from all different positions in their mind and their mental game and their physicality too when they come to it. Number one, I'm great that they're coming to it, right? It's a great way to move your body, and it's a great sport. And then you got the community aspect, which is just another amplifier of it. But yeah, I think that people, they don't understand. We're in an age right now of biohacking that we've never been in. I mean, guys like you, guys like me who've been doing this stuff for a while, it goes back a long ways. But right now, there's so much information out there on it, and people aren't picking it up. It's almost like you're choosing to be foolish or ignorant, I guess maybe is a better word, about what you really could be, what outcomes your body could be having, but you're just choosing not to.
Look, if I could title this as "Quit Stretching, It's a Waste of Your Time," and they're going to go, "Oh God, thank God." Yeah, because I don't like stretching. But you do it every day, and then you wonder why those muscles are just as tight the next day.
Yeah.
Got to start going after the cause versus the effects.
Yeah. The $300 paddle is not going to overcome your lack of 3 minutes of stretching.
A $3,000 chair is not going to overcome a $2 ass.
Yeah.
Everybody who comes in to see me, I ask them if they're on a medication called
no acetol.
Exactly. So they're on no acetol because they have no ass at all. So, and I joke with like that, but once your pelvis doesn't become the mover, then you cannot dink softly enough. You cannot speed up with enough spin because you're swinging with your shoulder instead of your whole body. And you sure as heck can't drive at the speed and accuracy like you'd like to unless your hip creates the turn.
Yeah, you're not going to be as light as you think you are or want to be or should be, because you're using so much of your frame to carry your body in awkward ways,
Oh, yeah. No, after our podcast today, I'll go to the gym to do, for example, just bench press and tricep bicep day. Okay, great. Right after that, I'm going to play 2 hours of 5.0 level pickleball. Now, that is not because I'm so good, guy, at pickleball. I'm not a 5.0. Now, I'm good, but a lot of people are good.
Right.
The masses aren't good. The masses of people aren't good. But if they want to get an unfair advantage on how to up their game 0.5 to 1 whole score from a 2.0 to a 3.0, you give them to me for an hour, and I'm not going to teach you how to play pickleball. I'm going to teach you how to move so your body can play pickleball.
Yeah.
Because if you can't move laterally, you start lunging with your arms, your shoulders, and your back. Yeah, you may get the shot, but now your weight has taken you, momentum's taken you away from the court. Now that leaves Divorce Alley wide open, and all I did was speed up down the middle because your partner didn't know enough to move over.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't see these when you look at Ben and you look at Anna Lee and Lee Waters play, and even Anna Bright. I've had the privilege of playing with all these guys except Ben. When you look at them, they don't make mistakes because they're saying, my body has to create the shot. And there's too many people teaching technique, and they're not looking at the body going to it. My table tennis coach was Stellan Bankston, and I was swinging so hard at the ball. He goes, Brian, come here. And he put a ping pong ball in his hand. Picture that, a ping pong ball.
Right.
And he blew it out of his hand super easy.
Right.
He said, why are you swinging so hard when that's all it takes to move the ball?
That's right. That's a great analogy.
Makes total sense. Let the paddle do the work. So I started moving that into pickleball, going, let the paddle connect with the ball so that more of the ball slides across the surface rather than catching it at the bottom of the paddle and just flicking it once. I'm catching it at the top, allowing the whole body and the surface to create the spin. Now it has more dwell time That's one of the reasons why I use the 19 millimeter, allows me to dwell in that paddle a little bit longer. Now I'm gonna use the 16 millimeter to go, I wonder how I'm hitting those since I've been using a 19. I'm going to experiment a little bit.
Sure.
But I don't expect it to be any different because I'm taking the right body to any paddle. I'm not taking the right paddle to a shitty aligned body. Pardon my pitch.
No. You know, in our world now, you know, with the TikTok world, all the social media, we've got the standing desks, the walking pads, all the TikTok chiropractors. So, you know, kind of help us or the listeners go, you know, what's BS and what's real? What do they need to know?
Ask better questions, and then do not fill the elevator silence with an answer. Let the person feel uncomfortable on the other side. And if they can't answer, find somebody else as number one. Mm-hmm. For example, if I said to you, Guy, how young are you?
54.
You're 54. So I've got you by 4 years. I'm 58. And I've done multiple things to blow out my body in sports and all that stuff. Okay, real quick. So you say that your right knee is osteoarthritic and you're going to need a knee replacement by 60. Yes, Brian, that's true. Just a quick question for you, Guy. How old's the other knee?
Same age.
So stop blaming the age and maybe the alignment that you're putting it in, and get people to understand this. If you have an ankle injury, a foot injury, a toe injury, an overused plantar fasciitis injury, a knee injury, the hip on the same side automatically neurologically says, I need to, quote, shut off to protect the extremity injury below to allow it to heal. That's what the body does. That's why the foot turns out. That's why you don't push off your toes anymore. And that's why, you know, you can't just rest, ice, compression, and heat, because the whole Rice principle has been upended. Now it's get moving on it. So one of the protocols that I use is fill a bucket with ice, fill it with water, and stand on the injured leg. So you close pack it at 90 degrees like a boot would, and then get up and move around and do our exercises to make sure that your hip on the same side doesn't shut down. Now, the cool part about this, guy, is I can see anybody from anywhere in the world. So I'll tell your listeners this. If you're serious, now I'm going to repeat that. If you're serious about taking care of you and not just buying a new paddle, new shoes, and all this other BS, then I will put it out there to your listeners that they can get a hold of me. You can put the contact information up there at the end. They can email me on Instagram. Okay. They can email me, whatever they need to do. Tell me where they came from, because I love your wife and her friend so much that I'll take 15 minutes of my day and say, let's get on Zoom. Let me take a look. And I'll give you a no BS response to say, that's how much I love the sport.
That's huge, brother. That is so huge. I sure appreciate that. We'll definitely put that up there, and we'll make sure people aren't wasting your time either. But, you know, your love for it is what comes through. That's what my wife brought home after she met you. She goes, this guy loves what he does, because, you know, so much of what I do, what she does in her life, we put love in front of everything we do. We love what we do. And when you do that, then you're almost guaranteed success, because you're going to put a different level into everything you do when you start loving it. It's like your kids, right? I want to, you know, my ceiling is where my kids start. That's their floor. So because I love them, I want them to achieve more. And so that's so phenomenal that you're going to do that. So let me ask you, so let's go back in your past. What's one thing that you held maybe as a belief in the past, and maybe even some of our listeners still hold as far as health, that you've come almost 180 on?
The harder that you work, the better you're going to be. And I think that's the complete misnomer in all of this fitness stuff today. You look at Instagram, and I'm on there studying it now just to see where people's mindsets are. When we're the company, when we look at this, whether it's Egoscue or the Posture RX stuff that we're looking at doing a rebrand with, I look at this stuff and go, if I can get you to lay down on your back and put your legs up over a couch at 90 degrees after playing pickleball, you lay down on the ground, legs up at 90 degrees, you just lay there and let your body kind of de-rotate. But Brian, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. That's because you're not paying attention, because I know you feel like you're imbalanced while you're down there. And then you give it 5, 10, 15 minutes, it starts to rebalance. Now sets you up for a next day able to play. I get people now in my circle that go, dude, I can't play more than 2 days. I'm done. And I'm like, I could play 7. And I have you by 10 years. Come on. My pickleball partner, who's a 5-0 plus, you know, we play in higher level tournaments and stuff if we did it. And he just had stem cells done, and he's going, dude, my body, bro, you're 41.
Yeah. Just if 41 is bothering you, just wait.
And remember, his kids now are even worse off because they were born with a cell phone in their hand.
Oh gosh, yeah. The hunching, not to mention all the stuff it's doing to the brain is just we are so poor stewarding this next generation.
Yeah.
That's it for part 1 of our conversation with Brian Bradley, and trust me, we're just getting started. You can catch part 2 on episode 23. And here's an amazing bonus. Brian's offering our listeners a free 15-minute consult. DM him on Instagram at @TheBrianBradley and say Big Dink Energy sent me, and he'll hook you up.
Dink or Destroy is brought to you by Paddle Hands. We're talking fist bumps, hang loose signs, high fives, even paw prints. Snag yours at paddlehand.com and use code BIGDINKENERGY10 for 10% off. Paddle Hands, because your paddle deserves flair and maybe a tiny rubber fist.
So Dink or Destroy, this is a thumbs up or a thumbs down. We send it over the net, dink it, or we destroy it, not for us, send it out of the court. So I wanted to bring up something I think everybody in society is fed up with, and that is tipping culture.
Oh,
tipping,
Lord.
tipping. So is it time for us to ditch tip jars and tips in general, or is it only certain circumstances? What is your all's take or the Dink or Destroy on tipping?
I just think if I literally have to walk up to the counter, get my food, go sit down, do everything, then why am I tipping you?
Yeah, if all you did was punch my stuff into a screen, there's no tip involved with that.
Like,
what were you there to do to begin with?
Like bellhops and what are the other people called that take your car?
Concierge? No.
That take your car.
Take your car.
Valets. Absolutely. Have you seen those
Thieves.
people run?
Thieves also take your car.
They're running, they're hustling, they have your air conditioning still on. Like they do so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at these like, I don't know, like the food trucks, and I'm like, what? Why am I tipping you? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, one of the things we've always said, if you own a business and you're charging me, then whatever you're charging me should be at a rate that you accept. And if you're the business owner, I'm not tipping you.
Yeah, I don't tip owners. You know what also bothers me?
Say it.
Is like, as a business owner, my job is to pay wages.
Yeah.
But if you're in the restaurant or whatever industry, your customers are helping pay your wages.
Yeah,
because
they're filling in.
Because the company gets to pay a lower wage to, let's say, a waitress.
Right.
Because the customers are making up. I don't like that.
Why?
I don't like the fact that their business doesn't have to pay full wages. Like, that's not.
Yeah. What if you ran that in your business?
Like, if I did that in my business and I was like, okay, well, the coaches only make $2.45, but if they're good, they can get tips.
The parents can tip them.
And the thing is my coaches would definitely get tips.
For
but
sure.
the point is I'm the business owner. I take the risk. I have, the profit and loss. I have the income coming in. It's not like they're
lights,
charging.
the AC,
they're not charging me less
taxes
for their Sizzler platter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, well, we only pay our waitresses $2.15. That's why we can keep your, 2 for $20, only $5.
Yeah.
But they're charging me.
Yeah. I think if they have, because I look at the sky waitresses, the ladies that work on the airlines.
Stewardess.
So, yeah.
Flight attendant. I'm sorry.
Flight attendant. Sky waitress. Okay. You have some specialty training, but I mean, why are you getting a salary? Why?
Wait, you tip those people?
No. But what if we flipped it around and we tipped them if they did a good job? Will we get better service on the airplane? Because I think they just go through the motions. Here's your half a can of soda. It's a bother if I had to pour the full can for you.
Just give me the whole damn Coke.
Yeah.
I usually say that. I'm like, I'll take the whole cranberry apple,
right?
Whatever.
But everything's a bother, and I get it. You got 300 people in a metal tube going, at 30,000 feet. But you're a sky waitress, so why aren't you?
That's your whole
tipped?
job. Like, make it fun.
Yeah. Why aren't you being tipped?
Yeah. I go ahead.
I think it's gone too far. And I think it's gone too far with the industries that now expect tips. I mean, of course, you're going to tip your waitress, the bellhop occasionally, if they're kind, things like that. But when every single business then turns the iPad around and it's the, 15, 20, 25%. Do you want to add it? I'm at the counter. You're doing nothing but ringing me up. And somebody else is cooking the food.
Yeah, it's not even the cooks back there.
This is how it goes. It's going to ask you a question.
I'm like, we know what question it is.
And you know what question it is.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, if I order to go and I go into the business and I pick it up, I do tip the hostess.
Yeah.
Because they put everything together. They put it in the bag. They give you the silverware and all of that. So they do extra work rather than if you were there. So I do give that extra tip. But I feel like every single industry is now expecting you to tip them. And I'm going, you aren't doing anything above and beyond in your job to
That's what I thought
get a
tipping used to be, was like you paid them if they did above and beyond.
Right. They gave great service.
They gave great service, but now we're getting mediocre service. I still didn't get utensils in my bag. And that's the other thing. Like on some of the apps, like when we were talking the other day about what is that? DoorDash.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I have to tip them ahead of time?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that, because then where did he leave my food? Outside the door at the gym.
No.
Outside.
No.
One of the employees
had
went
been
out
sitting
there.
out there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, went out there and was like, "Is this your food?"
No.
And I was like, "Are you serious?"
No,
Like, and
I'm
I already
canceling
tipped
that.
it.
I'm canceling and leaving a bad review, and
That's why I'm saying I didn't have time for all that. But
see, I always tip DoorDash because that's basically how they make their money. But I do agree that you should tip after.
Yeah.
Because they can pick and choose too. So I don't know how that works.
I want to see how many fries I have by the time it gets to me. You know what I mean?
But in my job, I go above and beyond and provide, not to toot my own horn, but a lot of times I provide excellent customer service.
Excellent.
Above and beyond what anybody would get in our industry.
Yeah, we know. We know.
I would never, like, if somebody tried to tip me, I'd be like, no. Like, I don't even think we're allowed to. I think it's in our employee handbook that we can't. But it's just, that should be what you do.
Yeah.
In your job, you should always want to go above and beyond. And if you're in customer service, if you're in the service industry, if you're dealing with people in the public or private, you should always just want to provide the best service that you can without the expectation of getting paid more. That is what your salary is.
That's the thing. It's like Starbucks is paying their employees a fair wage, a full wage. But an Applebee's is paying theirs $3.50. Like, because you're supposed to make it up. Well, I'm not getting the money from that. Like, I don't know. I just don't like how that works.
Well, yeah. Well, and the other side of that is, though, I think if you go into those locations where reasonable people should know tips are part of the salary or the paycheck of a person, you better be prepared to tip at the rate that is expected.
100%.
And then you can go down from there.
No, I will always tip a waitress.
Yeah.
I will always tip those that I know that it makes up the other part of their income.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah, we go above and beyond in that
I
a lot
just
of
don't
times.
feel like I should have to. I feel like you're the business owner. Pay your people what they're worth.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And I have gone to one restaurant. It was you and I. We went to a restaurant and they don't accept tips because they make full wage.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's why.
And we'll be back.
This place is like top tier.
Yeah.
Because they gave amazing service because their company expected that from them and they paid them a reasonable wage.
Yeah. And with paying them a reasonable wage, they also probably had better working conditions.
100%.
You know, a lot of these waitresses are just like, they're barely making enough to get by. And the company that they're working for isn't helping them at all and giving them amazing working conditions to make them want to go above and beyond.
Yeah. And a lot of times you have shared tips when you're in that environment as well.
But I mean, on the other hand.
So if I'm outgoing and gregarious and great at my job and Sally isn't, you know, we're doing a preponderance of the tips. Well, I should have got more tips.
But that's how it's kind of always been, because my mom was a waitress and she used to split it with the bus boys, but she didn't have to at the time, but she would, because the faster they clean the tables, you know, and they didn't, you know, make that. So I don't know if it's like a thing now that they have to, but
probably, because everybody gets a trophy, everybody gets a medal. We're all fair for everybody now.
But I think it's Italy. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that country, but I think it's Italy where they don't. And it's almost considered disrespectful to try to tip a waitress or a waiter. So I think America has just gotten way too out of control with everything needs a tip.
I guess we're destroy on tipping.
I'm going to start using it in my job. I'm going to bring it up to the window after I've written you a ticket. See what kind of tip I get on those things. Yeah. Destroy.
Destroy. I am not a fan.
I'm a destroy outside of like waitressing and things along those lines.
Yeah. Mandatory tipping or tipping just because you did your job.
Just because it comes on the iPad.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a destroy on that. Tell us what you think. Go to bdepodcast.com. Let us know what you think, or go to the Big Dink Energy Podcast over on the Instagram. Let us know what you think about the tipping culture. Share your stories.
News you can use.
Coming to you live from the newsroom. This just in, we're sponsored by My Paddle. Custom silicone bands that make your paddle unmistakably yours. No more mix-ups at Open Play. Buy 4 and get 50% off. Then buy 6, get you free U.S. shipping. No code needed. Grab yours at mypaddle.com. That's mypadl.com. And follow them over at PADL_. My Paddle. Make your paddle as bold as your game.
We used them at Open Play and they worked so well.
Awesome.
And they're so cute. I really like them.
Cute.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, so in news you can use, I was scrolling the internet the other day and I found this really cool article. There is a New Jersey man named Sam, and he's known as Mr. Cash Drop. So he has sparked like this whole viral trend, and he is going around hiding cash in public places and posting clues on social media.
Oh, I love it.
So he's like creating his own little scavenger hunt. Every day people find money, and he's out there trying to ease financial trouble.
I love it.
Someone did that at the MLP
Oh, really?
thing. I saw on the Instagram on the Austin
really
Pickle
cool.
Ranch.
Why didn't you tell me that? I would have to stop putting ketchup on my pancakes if you would have told me that.
Yeah, this lady, Cassie, found $500.
What?
Yeah.
And this is in New Jersey.
It's in New Jersey. Yeah,
That's really cool.
All right.
Yeah, I
On
thought
our
that
East
was
Coast
really
trip.
neat. It's good to hear, people doing good things for other people.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be more good put out into the
And
world.
they're just called, he's just Sam. Nobody knows who he actually is. So he's
so that's even better.
Yeah,
It's
he's
more
just like a mystery
mysterious.
man out there, not doing it for the clout and all of that. He's just known as
I like
a man named Sam, and they call him Mr. Cash
so
Drop.
he's not giving to homeless and having somebody videotape him and going, "Oh, look at me giving to the homeless."
Nope, he's
Oh my
just
God,
out there
I
being
hate that
anonymous,
so much.
hiding cash.
That's awesome.
I like to
Yeah.
think of Sam in a trench coat and a hat, just creeping around, putting
Creeping
money
around the
in
like
city.
place.
Dick Tracy.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, that's my vision of Sam. Anyhow,
Well, way to go, Sam.
good job, Sam. If you want to be on the podcast, let us know. I think that's a great story to have on the podcast, and then we'll see if you play pickleball. I guess we'll tie
Hey,
it.
maybe
we'll,
he does.
We'll tie it in somehow. You're a good person, Sam, so I know you play pickleball.
Well, that wraps up 22.
2-2. That's it for this episode. Unless you've got something to say, think we got it wrong, have a better take, we want to hear it. Find us at bdepodcast.com or at bdepodcast on the socials. Drop us a message. We might just feature you in the next episode. If you had a good time, well, samesies. If not, maybe try again. We grow on people. So you know the deal. Follow the show, tell a friend, and leave us a review. Or just pretend this never happened. Until next time, keep the dink soft and the energy big.